Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers. We are at 21,000 basically, so thank you all the 21,000. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to help me get to the 50k until the end of the year. We're almost at the start of the good things about this patch, right? We are not going to see the teaser this week or anything like that, probably around next week, right? But still, we have some interesting news. So they are basically changing the economy, as I already mentioned it in another video, and they actually did this post. I will leave it in the description, actually explaining some of this stuff, because apparently we didn't understand properly what the changes were. And to be honest, they explained it pretty well here, but still there are some weird things, but I think I know why. But first of all, they say how like right now, before this economy base, like this rank based economy that they're talking about, before this is actually added to the game, which is not added at all right now, they actually basically use the statistics of a vehicle to actually make like a reward slash like cost kind of benefit, and then decide a repair cost based on that. So for example, they even use the example of the B29 here in the TU4 in RB. They cost around 48,000 to repair, 39,000 for the TU4. I mean, it's expensive, right? Just due to the fact that if a B29, if a TU4 actually managed to be alive and destroy all the bases, the reward of that aircraft is really high, you know. But if you die, then you have kind of a problem, because you have to pay 40,000 lions for it. So it was kind of like a risk reward kind of situation. With this new system, it will be more gradually increased, you know. So overall, the higher tier aircraft, for example, will be higher, but you will not have, for example, a MiG-21Bs or an F5E that are extremely expensive out of nowhere, right? For example, the F5 was another example that just because when it was added, it was actually very, very effective, they added a very high repair cost. Now, with this new rank-based economy, what they mean is that the repair cost will be more expensive to the top of the lines, right? To rank 8 and stuff, but still, you will not have these spikes in repair costs, basically, or these like bottoms as well, right? You will not have a very expensive aircraft, or you will not have, for example, a MiG-29 being probably, I wonder, but still, being less expensive than a MiG-21 due to that. So, which was very weird. So you can see kind of a clear option, a clear example of these here in the RB, for example, aircraft, that the majority of them will be decreased, but in the higher tiers it will be increased. But it doesn't mean that it will be like an overall increase, right? It just means that there were, for example, here in the Soviet Union, there were some rank 8 aircraft that were just lowered than the normal other nations compared to the other nations, right? So they are going to be more progressive, is what I mean, right? So I don't know if you understand, but yeah, instead of using the statistics of a vehicle, they will just do a overall rank kind of progressive kind of situation there. They give the example of the TU4 and the B29, but also T95, for example, it was 24,000, but it will be 9 after the change. Some of the other vehicles that they are going to be affected by this, which are predominantly vehicles that are just very expensive right now, like the G56, the Sagittario 2, the Mouse. So overall, I think it's a good change after all. I just wonder how it's going to be at the end of the day, but it feels that it makes sense. So if you read it carefully, it just makes sense, right? Some changes to the reward multipliers as well. They're answering how these things will change as well. It doesn't like affect too much, but they're also going to have the same kind of effect, right? So instead of using the statistics update, they say here, obviously, The gameplay circumstances basically made it so that the aircraft was increased or not. And now with the new statistics data, in the upcoming economy patch, changing the reward multiplier will adjust earnings to the required level. So it will be just more progressive as well. It will work both ways depending on the aircraft. Some aircraft like these ones, the canal, the F4EJ, C2, F4EJ, they will be decreased, but all of these, for example, will be increased. So the J7D, F104 STAF, the MiG-23ML, the 21 Lazur. So it depends on the rank and stuff, but it will just be more progressive as far as I know. Then they answered some of the questions, some individual questions over here. So, for example, why are the repair costs for helicopters in AB arcade, right, going up? They basically are going up because the main way of you actually using helicopters in AB is the PvE missions and during confrontation missions, and you normally are just firing against AI. So it's kind of funny that they say that this leads to a fairly stable earning of Silver Lions and infrequent spending on respawns. So yeah, it's a very good way to grind. But then they just go that they're going to basically take that away a little bit. So I don't know, like why? I mean, just leave it there. It's not a lot of people that play helicopters anyway. And it's even like basically a reward for you to actually play these modes, because helicopters don't have a proper mode anyway. Like, a very good one, to be honest. It's basically flying ground or flying AB. So yeah. They mention some things interesting, for example, in this. Why the Tornado IDS Marine Flieger and the 9095 Tornado are going to have different repair costs in realistic battles, even though they're basically the same aircraft. And they mention how they are used differently. For example, the Marine Flieger is normally never used in ground battles, and the Tornado IDS 1995 is always used in ground battles. So this makes the Tornado IDS have a much shorter lifespan, so it deserves a lower repair cost. And the Marine Flieger is normally used in RRB, and then using for bombs and stuff, so it just makes sense that it has a higher repair cost for them, at least, And then they talk a little bit about the PTL-02, that they are going to move for a more appropriate rank, but the M46 Tiger and the PT-7657 will not. And they say how premiums are normally not going to change too much ranks, because they are normally added to a rank more due to the basically the bonuses that you get in research, more than the vehicle performance itself. So researchable vehicles can always move around, but premiums will probably never move around. And then some last things, some additions over here. The PZ-57 moved to a position after the Radkampfwagen, I think it's called, 90. The Puma moved after the Panzer 57. Sedan moved to rank 6. And then obviously you can check it out, the table sheet. It is basically the same as before, but you can check it out. I will leave it in the description. All the repairs and stuff. So overall, I think it makes sense, right? I wonder if it's going to overall just increase the cost. I can notice that in some occasions it will. So you have to kind of be careful. For the majority of the gameplays, to be honest, it will be decreased. I think overall this is an average decrease. As you see here, you see a lot more greens than whites, right? So overall, it is better right now. But there are some specific BRs that you have to care about and just look around what aircraft, what vehicle you're driving and flying, because then it will make a little bit of a big change. For example, simulator tanks here for the Soviet Union, for example. You have to be careful. What tanks are these? You have to check it out, because it's a big increase compared to the other ones that are barely not even being increased, right? So it depends. So you have to just be careful with that, okay? But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about the new economy change. It feels reasonable, but let's wait and see how it is in the future, okay? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys. See you.